So I'm Marbeth Dunn, and welcome to a planetary peace meditation. And people are moving around on the screen. It's really wonderful to have you here. And the first thing I want to do is bring spirit in, because I don't really have an agenda. So I'm just opening this up. And we have Terry Angel, we have Christine Glenn, we have Dusty and Chris and SH. And I'm really happy that everybody's here. And the fact that we're recording means that this energy is still going to expand every time someone else watches this and does the meditation. So that's a beautiful thing. So why don't we get all comfortable, sit up straight. You want your back to be as straight as you can so that the energy can flow all the way up your spine, and that you tuck your chin in a little bit. It's called the neck lock or Jalandhar Band in yoga, so that the back of your neck is straight and there's no impediments. The energy can just go straight up when we meditate. So let's take a couple of deep breaths. So inhaling through the nostrils, following the breath all the way down into the belly. And just notice all the sensations in your body as you exhale, following that breath out through your nostrils. Inhaling all the way down and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And as we breathe in unison, we are joining all together, one heart, one soul, one self, one with our Creator, one with all that is. And just feel the unity. And let's bring our awareness into our hearts. Put your hands over your heart. Bring your attention underneath your hand. And just notice that living feeling of love underneath your hands, that beautiful warmth underneath your hands. And imagine that that's a beautiful candle, beautiful flame within the heart. And as we focus our awareness underneath our hands, the candle is growing brighter and brighter and expanding as we feel the love within our hearts expanding. And we feel love and appreciation, so much gratitude. Feel that love and gratitude within the heart. Gratitude for everyone who's on this call today, everyone who'll be watching the meditation, participating in the meditation. Just feel that love and appreciation, and for all the good things in your life, and even the things that don't appear to be good. They're opportunities to grow. We recognize that we're not these physical bodies. These are just a form where we can learn and grow. And we're expanding this light within the heart. And as the light expands and expands and envelops us, it expands out to envelop everyone on the call. Feel that love expanding out. And let's extend that love beyond ourselves, beyond the group. Extend it through the whole planet, enveloping the whole planet with a beautiful rainbow cloud of love. Feel that love enveloping the earth. Feel that love extending beyond the earth throughout the solar system. Filling each and every cell of everyone's being. Filling the energetic beings of all of the planets of our beautiful sun. And extending beyond the solar system into the Milky Way. Filling the Milky Way, extending beyond the Milky Way, and filling our entire universe with love. Extending that love and seeing this light light up the entire universe. We are all so powerful when we join together. It's a beautiful thing. We're such powerful beings. We have spirit and our spiritual guides and angels. So we can extend that love to bless them as well. So we're extending blessings and love, gratitude, appreciation throughout the universe to all of our masters, teachers, and guides. And just notice, just sit for a moment very quietly and notice what's happening within your own being, within your own body. We extend that love within every cell within these bodies. We love each and every cell within our being, each and every organ, each and every breath that we take, each and every blood corpuscle, everything, every element of our physical and spiritual being, and that we extend throughout the universe as well. So just feel that. Notice what's happening within you. And listen and feel, be aware of all of your senses that keeps us in the present moment, which is where our pivotal point of power lies. Feel that. Beautiful. Surrounding our beautiful earth and all of the sentient beings with this love and appreciation. A beautiful light over our entire planet. We bless our planet. We bless our universe. And we bless our beings, our very beings. All of the energy centers within our being, all of the energy centers within the earth, all of the energy centers within our cosmos, within our universe. One self. We are one self. One beautiful being. Feel that oneness. And now wiggle your fingers and your toes and come back. So, yeah, that feels good. Anybody feel any different? Yeah.
I feel calm.
Good. I feel calm too.
Calm and peaceful.
Yeah. And that's so where our power is. It just to feel that beautiful peace extending out.
Yeah.
And I'd love to be that way every minute of the day, but I find that I get caught up in other things. And, it's just to remind myself to come back. And one of the things I saw when Sister Jenna was talking the other night was she was talking about how people in the Brahma Kumaris, um, that they stop every hour and tap in. And I do that, from A Course in Miracles. Hi, we have someone new. So, I'll do that through the day as I remember every hour. I'll think about what my lesson is and I just breathe. Because when we breathe, we're filling ourselves up with life force energy, and we are taking a moment to reconnect with who we are and with spirit, with source. And it's so important that we need to do that. I know I forget to do that. And then when I find myself all agitated, or I don't usually get agitated, but I do get stressed if I feel like I have a lot to do. And Emma, welcome. We're happy to have you here. Um, so, what do you guys do? What do you guys do when you feel a little stressed?
I stop and breathe.
That's exactly what I do too. I stop and breathe consciously.
I remind myself that if I'm feeling some stress, some anxiety, the other of those emotions, that I'm not in the now moment. If I look at what's going on, I probably look at something.
Hang on, I'm trying to mute, and this is not working. Yeah, here we go. Not working. Okay. Trying to hear you. Hello, Emma. Can you possibly mute your sound? Yeah. Okay. What about you, Christine? What do you do?
I stop and I breathe consciously. I've been a breath worker for many, many years, and and I try to remember that I'm an innocent being who's been conditioned to believe otherwise. So, the innocent being that I am, that we are, that everything is in humanity took on a lot of effects and a lot of conditioning, a lot of patterns, behaviors, doubt, confusion, and judgment. And not one of those things belongs to the innocent being that is the truth of who we are. But that's what happens. It's like the little kid that goes to the store and gives the shopkeeper all the money and trusts that they're just going to take away that money that's only for what you purchased. Yeah, so I spent most of my life believing in the wrongness of me, but for the second half, I'm believing in the rightness of me.
Good. That's beautiful. I think that's really important too. I think one of the other really important things is to listen to our self-talk and really tap into that, because we know if you're feeling icky, if you're feeling suddenly as if you're wrong about something, it's a good opportunity to listen. What happened before I felt that? What did I tell myself? Did I listen to someone else? Did I pick up their feelings? I'm empathic. I know that Terry is also, and it's very easy to pick up feelings and emotions from other people. And then what I need to do very often is just ask, is this mine? Because I find that even when I work with people, that about 85% of what people are carrying around with them, a lot of that, maybe 85%, is not theirs. They want to help other people, and then we find that we're carrying their energy. We're carrying things that we don't want. What did you just put in the chat, Christine?
I just put in, this is a meditation from Sister Jenna,
Oh,
and
nice.
it's very short. I often play it, yeah, when I'm doing the country coordinators monthly meetings, and it's just a beautiful meditation, and it's maybe 3 or 4 minutes long.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for
Very
sharing
welcome.
that. Yeah. So, so I was wondering, does anybody else, notice, being an empath, and I think there are more and more of us as we have more and more people on the planet. We tend to be more sensitive to other people's energy. We pick it up. Have you found, Terry, that you've gotten more empathic?
Yes, yes, most definitely so. And, I was listening to you say, you ask yourself, is this my energy? We have a choice in every moment of how we react or how we respond to other people. And
Sure.
it's important to realize, and this was something Spirit showed me one day, it's like that's their movie. That's their part that they're playing in their lifetime. That's not mine. So not owning other people's energy, not owning their, we want to fix everybody,
Right.
but there's nothing to be fixed because that's their movie. That's
Absolutely. And what I find very often when I notice that, I'm feeling something that doesn't feel like me,
Mhm.
and I'll tap in, and this happened after the election in 2016. After the election, I felt such anxiety and stress, and it what didn't feel like me, and just this heaviness, and it was awful. And I didn't realize it for a couple of weeks because very often we don't. And then I just said, "Is this mine?" And of course, it wasn't. And I realized, oh, I tapped into the collective consciousness. I'm feeling everybody's stuff, and so I just sent love and peace to everyone who was feeling that icky energy. And I I immediately felt clear, and I was like, but so many of the people who were feeling so angry and upset know better.
Yeah,
So many people knew better, and yet they went to the dark side. They went to the place of oh, I'm so angry.
yeah,
Well, that doesn't serve anybody. It doesn't serve you.
that's
I mean, anger is never justified. I mean, there's nothing wrong with we might something happens, we react, we feel the anger, but then what do we do with it? The best thing is to let it go.
let it go and process it. Yeah,
Yeah. So, and then we're not carrying it. And then we're strong, we're grounded, and we're in a position to help other people. So it's a beautiful thing, right?
really is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd love to hear from Chris or SH if you would like to comment on anything. Be sure we can't see you, but we'd love to hear what you have to say. So do jump in. Um, Yeah. So, in terms of things that make us feel out of sorts, I even when I I was sick, I guess a couple of years ago, I was really in a very low place physically. When I realized that, I have to keep reminding myself I'm not a body. I'm spirit. I'm this beautiful mind, that source created like itself. And when I remember that I'm not a body, that's when I move into this greater space. And it really helped me feel so much better. So that's another thing that, when things can seem to be very overwhelming, we need to move beyond the microcosm. We were listening to an audio. Oh, actually, no. Um, I was reading, like minds are meant to be very abstract, but we tend to focus, and then we focus on one or two things at the time. But, source, God, the universe is very abstract and big. And when we recognize that we're in the same energy, that we're all one, and we have that same quality of tapping into universal wisdom, of tapping into universal love, of tapping into all that is, and just really expanding into that greatest awareness of everything at once. And we can go there, and we can be that, and be there in these meditations. We expand. And I don't know about you, and I do know about a few of you, that it really makes you feel like, oh, this is who I am. I'm not these challenges. I like to get really big and expand. And then from that vantage point, look down on the things that I thought were just such big challenges, because they're not. From that greater vantage point, they're just little tiny microscopic things. So, and that really makes a shift too, move more into that place of peace. I'm all about peace, and I know you guys are too. So what are your thoughts, Terry?
Well, like you said, it's all small stuff. And when we can remember who we are, what we are, this life is to be enjoyed. So when we sweat the small stuff, when we look at the little things, and sometimes they can be big things, and the way we look at them. But when we look at the big picture, all of those things are just part of the experiences that we need to work through this journey for whatever it is that we're here for.
Yeah.
And we're all here, I feel like, to return to love, to return to that place where love is all that matters. And
love is all there is, as the Beatles said. Yeah. No, it's really true, and it's so easy to get caught up in little things. And especially like, you've had health challenges too. And when you're in the midst of them, it's really hard to ignore them and to, expand into that other space. But it's really important to do that, as you know.
Yes.
Because that's what makes the shift.
At the beginning of the year, I broke my right ankle, or I fractured it in 2 spots. So in my 67th year, I had my first ambulance ride, my first stitches, and my first cast. So what did that awaken in me was a need for self-compassion. Right? In the eyes of unity consciousness, all compassion is self-compassion, because we're just all one.
Yeah.
And through my time in the hospital and in the emergency room, and then in the operating room, and then I got to come home the next day, there wasn't one person that I encountered that really wasn't an angel. And they were just so brilliant. And then I had this big, heavy, uncomfortable cast on for 10 days until last Wednesday. And then they put on a different cast so that I still have to wear it and I have to sleep in it, but I can take it off and exercise my foot, and it's much lighter. And so do I know why this happened? I don't. But do I trust why it's happened and what it's teaching me? Yes, I do. I absolutely do. And, what it's taught me so far is that every person, from the ambulance people to, Scott, who's been my partner for the last 42 years, is that they're just also kind and loving in their true nature. And they just want to serve you.
That's so beautiful. Yeah. I broke my foot, I guess about 5 years ago. And this was very funny. From a metaphysical point of view, I was about to speak on the Law of Attraction cruise. And just the week before, I was getting very stressed because at that point I had a radio show and I had a blog, and I was thinking of everything that I had to do. And I didn't have to do any of that stuff. You know, I was the taskmaster. I was forcing myself, you know, oh, you have to get all these blogs done. Oh, you have to do all of these posts. Oh, you have to get all these radio shows in the can. So everything is consistent. And I was doing this to myself. And I felt this pang in my chest, which was like, don't do this. But I didn't listen. And I stood up and I stepped on a plug, and like a wall plug, and I broke my foot. I heard a pop. And I didn't do anything about it for a few days. You know, I was hoping that it wasn't what it was. And so I had to actually postpone the trip one day. We had to fly to Boston and then get on this cruise. I was in a wheelchair doing my talk on the law of attraction. So
That is funny.
And I mean, Harrison was so wonderful. He's pushing me around, you know, but it was very funny. I have the videos of my talks, and there I am, you know, perfect example of what happens when you are stressed, when you're not listening to your body and your intuition. You know, it's like, oh my God, what did I do?
Did you have to have a cast then?
I did have, no, I might have had one. It wasn't really a cast. No, I had a scooter,
Yeah.
you know, one of those little knee scooters,
Yeah, I have one of those.
and the wheelchair. And of course I couldn't, I think I don't remember, you know, it was like 5 years ago. I'm not remembering a cast. So yeah, definitely not a cast, but there was something.
Maybe like a boot or something.
Yeah, it was a boot. That's what it was.
That's what I have, a removable boot.
Yep.
But you have to keep it on. I have to keep mine on for the better part of 6 weeks.
Yeah, well, you know, we don't really know like why all these things happen to us. I mean, Terry had some very challenging health situations also. And yet I think, and you're already a beautiful compassion. Both of you are very beautiful, compassionate women. So why do these things happen? I think maybe you thought, Terry, that it was to enable you to feel more compassion for other women that are in similar situation.
Yes, to really understand the journey when someone finds himself with a diagnosis of cancer.
Yeah.
It's like really understanding that entire journey from receiving that diagnosis all the way through treatment and all of the emotions that go along with it. And that's where I feel like I've been called, is to help people deal with the emotional side of it.
And you're so perfect for that, really.
Thank you.
You are an angel, Terry Angel.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're my earth angel. Oh my gosh. I've really been lifted by you, Marbeth, through that whole experience, and just every day. I love you and thank you for being a blessing in my life.
Well, I bless you, and I love you too. I love all the work that you're doing. It's just really beautiful. And you too, Christine. I've been working with a humanities team with all those wonderful, wonderful people, and you know, spreading the love and the peace and the unity, and you're doing some beautiful things. I love it.
Well, and I've been with you for a long time too, Marbeth. It was several years ago that we started out in May to do 28 days of peace, or 1 month of peace on the Middle East. And it ended up going on for months and months. And I mean, when we focus on what we really want, that's what we create. And yeah, you know, what I always tell them at Humanities team is that, like, there's no two snowflakes alike, there's no two anything alike, and you're a unique expression of divinity. That's who you are, that's who I am. And the innocent being got conditioned. That's it. So
and we're so powerful when we're all together. That was for me, well, it was one of the many lessons from the peace experiment. But the fact that I focused on the Middle East because that was the guidance, but also the fact that we were able to get independent statistics on the levels of violence. And the fact that we were able to show that the levels of violence dropped during the period, and there were, some days there were just a few of us, focusing. But I think it's that unified field of consciousness is so powerful. Our prayers are so powerful. And I kept asking, let me do another one of these, and I kept getting, nope, not your time, not to do it, and it was such a glorious experience to lead that. I didn't want to stop it. We were moving, and then I was just like, yes, well, we could do it weekly. So that feels really good, and no agenda, just a group of people meeting together, coming from our hearts, and sharing this love, blessing our beautiful planet, blessing each other. And it doesn't get better than that for me.
No, and when in times of confusion, what I say to myself is, there's more going on here than any finite mind can possibly know. Right? There is, right? There's an overlighting stream of wisdom, and it is far greater than my finite mind.
And every thought that we have affects everything on the planet. So to know that our thoughts are so powerful, and I never realized that, for many years. And then to recognize, well, I better watch my thoughts.
Well, and your innocent child was never taught that the power that lies in your innocence, right? It was never taught that.
But every one of us is so pure and innocent, because we are, just as we were created in this beautiful mind, this eternal mind of Source. We're created in the image of our Creator. And so in these perfect minds, we are perfect and we are innocent. And we may think that, well, the body has done all of these things and they can be pretty awful, and I'm feeling so guilty about that. That has nothing to do with who we are on this greater scheme of things. No matter what, we are always eternally perfect and pure as the driven snow. And what a beautiful thing to recognize that this is who we are. We are these amazing beings. And we're all one. We're all one in Source, and connected with each other. And even people that we don't like on the political scene, to recognize that they're playing a part in a play, basically. They've stepped into a role, and that on the eternal level, they're just the same as we are, this gorgeous eternal being. We're all these gorgeous eternal beings that are so pure and innocent and powerful, unlimited wisdom, unlimited love. So whatever happens, for me, it just takes me up 40,000 feet looking down, and it's like, yeah, I don't have to get involved in the drama. I can stay peaceful. I can remember who I am.
Exactly. It's a world of contrast.
Yeah.
And so if it wasn't, it'd be a whole different world, and we wouldn't learn everything that we learn. But I think the key is to stop the resistance. Stop the resistance to whatever it is that's your sandpaper, because there are those people that are going to just rub you the wrong way, or show a mirror to you for something inside of you. And I call them the sandpaper, because it's through that we get smoothened out with our rough edges. And so just allowing it and not fighting against it, resisting against it, you learn the lesson a lot.
Or reacting to it. It's so easy to just react when somebody does something. And what's so funny, we go to a party and everybody is so nice, or like Christine had her whole experience in the hospital, everybody is so nice. One person can do something to insult you, to hurt you, to whatever it is, And suddenly you've forgotten all of those wonderful angels that were there for you. I think that's human nature too, to focus on, yeah, but they called me such and such, or said such and treated me such and such. And isn't that interesting? It's like, okay, I have totally forgotten about all the really wonderful people, and I focus now on this awful insult, which in the whole scheme of things doesn't matter. And it's just an opportunity for us to look at that and say, okay, this person's having a rough day. How can I see this a different way and let this go? You know, so it's just, life is juicy.
Well, it is juicy. And if you think of the earth as a giant schoolroom, you know, we have toddlers and hi, Elizabeth, you're back. We have
Hi,
toddlers,
Elizabeth.
and we have people that are in kindergarten, and then people that are in grade 1 and all the way up. And, you know, in order to go to grade 2, you have to finish grade 1. And so we're all at different places on this wheel of creation. And we have to honor all the places that get us to wherever we're going.
Absolutely. My grandmother said this, you know, as I was growing up, we're all in school.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all here to learn. And, you know, we're all in our classrooms, and, you know, we're at different grade levels, and that's
It's
just the way
true.
it is. Yeah.
So we
So,
love the ones that are in kindergarten and, you know, in grade 1. And we also love the ones that, you know, are, you know, way up there. We just have to love, we have to love everything because that's what creation does. It just loves everything.
and they're all part of us.
Right.
Now, especially the parts that we don't want.
Well, exactly. It's like, that's not me. Think again.
Yeah, especially, you know, to me, you know, I think of people that rub me the wrong way, and it's like, oh, they're my teacher. What's my lesson here? It's a great opportunity to grow. Okay, and we hear from Elizabeth. It's so nice to have you here, Elizabeth. Education is ongoing throughout life, whether you are enrolled or not. Yes, well, I think we are all enrolled. We just may not recognize. We might be truant. Yeah. So awesome. I just put the chat up on the screen. I don't know if that's going to record, but I can always.
No, I don't think the chat records.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will copy it. And, nope, that was the wrong thing. Let's try that. There. And then we can copy the chat. There we go. Yeah, because I think it's important. And we're going to post this up on YouTube and in our Facebook group. So this is just an evolution of the World Miracle Peace Experiment. So we can just, we'll see where this evolves. I mean, I'm just loving having this education, you know, this conversation, this interaction. Juicy.
It's wonderful. It's such a great brainchild. And,
It wasn't mine.
I know it came from the angels.
Yeah. They knew I was missing the daily meditations.
Thank you for listening to that inspiration.
Always. Yeah, I always got to listen to it. I don't know if you can hear the music. Harrison has a musician buddy over, and they're playing guitars in the other room. And I said, well, we could go outside. And I said, no, it's okay. I don't know if you can hear it. But
No, I don't.
Yeah.
And I was so sad to miss last week. Because of my leg, I get tired, right? And I still had the heavy cast on last Sunday, and then I put my head down for 20 minutes, and then the next thing I know, it was past, and I was a little bit sad. But here I am this week, and I'm grateful.
I'm so glad that, you know, I mean, you've always been you were a peace caster, you know, you were right there, like almost every meditation, which I love. Yeah. I mean, we're all on the same page. And Elizabeth Tamboulian is an amazing musician and singer, and also, you know, a very beautiful, evolved lady. So I know you can hear me, Elizabeth. You could unmute yourself and you can talk too.
Kristen, I'm so glad you're here. So I got to interact with you and get to know you.
Yeah. really wonderful. So, um, what would
Well,
you
I
like?
just really appreciate all you do, Marbeth, to build peace in this world and beyond. And I enjoy being a part of that vibration. Thank you very much.
I'm so thrilled that you're here because I love your energy. And I'm so glad I got to meet you when we were in New York.
That was fun. That was a fun dinner. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. So, um, oh, who did we just lose? Oh,
Chris.
Chris. Okay. So, I'm just wondering, is there any other tangents we'd like, rabbit holes we'd like to explore tonight? What do you think? I mean, this has been kind of juicy. We've explored a lot of different things from resistance, expansion, and we definitely expanding into our true identities, um,
Returning to love.
returning to love. That's the key. You know, the Marianne Williamson wrote her book, Return to Love.
Mhm. She did. I have it.
Yeah, I mean, I do too.
Me too. I have all her books.
I have had all of her books, but I have also released a lot of books during, several moves. So to get to
And
where
that's a good thing, isn't it? I've done the
yes.
same thing, Marbeth, and I give them to the library.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing because I'm sure it opens the opportunity for people to explore things they might not ordinarily do. So yeah, that's wonderful. Um, and Marianne Williamson, I think that was wonderful that she ran for president. I was very happy to see that for a number of reasons. Not that I felt that she really had a chance, but I felt that, of course, there's no order of difficulty in miracles. But she was able to expose people to ideas that they may not have been aware of. A whole different way of looking at things from creating a Department of Peace. How important is that? I mean, there's such a focus on war departments. I think it's so beautiful to have a Department of Peace. So I hope that happens.
I hope it does.
Yeah, I think it will. And, this time she ran under the Democratic, last time she ran as an independent. And so that took a lot of courage to run under the Democratic flag. And I just watched her on all the debates and, they were and then she spoke and it's like all these late night talk show hosts was like, oh, get up and listen, right? Like this, she makes a lot of sense. She's a spiritual being having a human experience, and
as are we all.
Well, as are we all, but she puts it out there day to day to day to day, and she's also a very good friend of Humanity's Team, and I just love her. I love her courage.
I know. I've been following her for many, 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 many years. And you know who else I just saw recently? Do you remember Dr. Gerald Jampolsky?
I know him. Teach Only Love. I have his book.
Yeah. I was actually a facilitator of attitudinal healing when I lived in Santa Fe many years ago. And he came to Santa Fe and spoke. So he's 90 something years old now, and he's lost his sight. And he was in an interview with Judy Scutch Whitson, who published A Course in Miracles and a Foundation of Inner Peace. And they were discussing their special relationship and how it became a holy relationship. I mean, it was really amazing. I was like so excited because I always considered him one of my mentors. So that was just really very heartwarming for me to see that. That was like a week and a half ago. I don't know, are you familiar with him, Terry?
No, I'm not.
Oh, you should look up some of his books. Amazing. Teach Only Love.
What's the last name?
Jampolsky, Dr. Gerald Jampolsky.
I will look him up. Thank you.
Yeah. He's amazing teacher. And he was guided through spirit to create these centers for attitudinal healing to help children with catastrophic diseases and to teach them that they weren't their bodies. And they went on TV. A lot of these kids went on TV with him, on late night TV, and they were talking about how peaceful they were. They became ambassadors of peace. I mean, how beautiful is that?
That is beautiful.
Yeah. So, he's really a remarkable person, and I guess he's in the twilight of this human existence, but he really has made a huge impact on the planet. And these centers are still around in California. The one in Santa Fe did close, but that was a wonderful experience. I worked there for several years, leading different groups in personal growth and working with people with illness, and it was very, very educational for me. So yeah. So is there anything else that we would like to discuss? I mean, I feel good. I love having juicy spiritual discussions.
I just put Jerry's name in the chat room, Terry, for you.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you.
I must have given his book away. I know the Teach Only Love was a red covered book that I had.
Yeah. Yeah, but he wrote a lot of books. He was a psychiatrist, and he was guided by spirit not to charge his clients anything for working with them. And so he stopped charging. And his receptionist said, "You have to charge. You have expenses." And he said, "No." He said, "I was told not to." And then he wrote these books, and he went on, a speaking circuit, and he made his money through the books and speaking. So, but he was totally guided not to charge. And, and he listened. And I think it's so important that we listen to what spirit tells us.
So true.
And I always, no matter how off the wall it is, I always listen.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes I'm not so good. It's always talking to me, and having spent my whole life in mental health, one of the tenets that I was always taught is trust your gut, because it doesn't lie to you. But I don't always do that, and here I am, and still, like, it talks to me, but I don't always listen.
No, well, that's why you're having the human experience. Yeah. So I don't know if you can hear the guitar now. I mean, they're getting a little louder. I could open the door, but I just wanted to really focus on being here with you guys. So
thank you for this. It's just been really.
Yes, thank you so much. And thank you, SH and Elizabeth and Terry and Marbeth. Like, it's just such an honor and a privilege to share this time.
It really is. And I think I am going to check out this Restream to see about, maybe we could stream it. I think we'll probably get more people involved in it. So I'll explore that, and I'll check in with spirit, see if it's the right thing to do. You have such a cozy house there, Christine.
Oh, thank you. As you can see, I come from a family of artists, but that laughing Buddha, I made that.
Oh, okay. Well, I have a beautiful Kuan Yin over here, which it's not light, so you're not going to be able to see it, or I would show you maybe another time. And but this is so lovely. Thank you guys so much for being part of this. I hope you'll come back, and next week. I'll actually be up in Orlando next week, but I spoke.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm going to be at a conference, but I've already decided that this is a weekly occurrence, and hell or high water, we're going to be there as long as spirit is guiding.
Well, I put it in my book, and I like the email reminders too, Marbeth.
Yes.
Awesome.
That was great.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I love you. And Elizabeth, I'm so glad you joined us. That's so wonderful. And SH, whoever
Have a beautiful week, everybody.
Yeah, have a wonderful, 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 blessed week. And remember who you are.